Hi everyone, Joseph Arens here, and here's X's and Joe's. Everything you need to know about NFL Week 10 right here, right now. Let's get into it. The first game of Week 10 was Falcons-Panthers, and Mariota's not the answer at quarterback. Going into next season, the Falcons are going to need to figure out what they're going to do at the most important position of the game. Lucky for them, they're likely going to have a lot of options. There's that whole situation with Lamar and Baltimore, and if they're going to re-sign him, obviously that would be a very exciting pairing. I mean, could you imagine an offense that already averages almost 5 yards a carry, adding Lamar Jackson at the quarterback position? Would be absolutely insane. There's the question of if the Packers are going to keep Rodgers next offseason. Obviously, they haven't had a great season. They turned things around this week against the Cowboys, finally getting a well-needed win. But if I'm the Packers, I'm not keeping him for another season. I'm going to try to move him, start the rebuilding process, get a lot of picks, so that's always an option. Putting A-Rod with those young pieces, with Bird, with London, with Pitts, that would be amazing. Another option they'd have would be Derek Carr, which I wouldn't be surprised if after this season the Raiders try to blow everything up, because, well, that obviously isn't working. I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to keep that together, but I wouldn't be surprised if they just tore the whole thing down after this season. So a lot of options for the Falcons at QB next season. A lot of very interesting pairings that could happen. Next up, Jeff Saturday has the highest win percentage in NFL history, 100% after his first win ever as a head coach against the aforementioned awful Raiders. The Colts just looked different during that game, I'll be honest. They looked fired up. They looked like they were buying into whatever Saturday has been saying. I was critical of the hire. I'm still critical of the hire because I don't know. It's just giving the assistant coach, giving an OC, a DC, that job as an interim head coach. That's like one of the only opportunities they're going to ever get, maybe. You look at guys like Todd Bowles, like his old head coach. I'm blanking. Bruce Arians. Bruce Arians started as an interim head coach. That's how he proved himself worthy of a head coaching job. And after that, he, became one of the, I'm not going to say one of the greatest, but we can all agree that he is a very well accomplished coach. Maybe one of the greatest. I don't know. I'm not gonna defend that hill. But that being said, I wasn't the biggest fan of the Jeff Saturday hire, a guy with no coaching experience outside of the high school level. But whatever he's given to those players, they're buying into it, and that's good to see. It was good to see them fired up, playing like they wanted to win. Matt Ryan had that 39-yard run. That was great. Granted, it was against the Raiders, who are a literal frickin' dumpster fire, but a win is a win. Only stat that matters, W's and L's. Next up, a sour note. God, I hate Nathaniel Hackett. He's bad, man. If you watch the Broncos game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't know what he was doing in that game. It just seems like he was calling deep shot after deep shot with a banged up O-line that you knew was going to have trouble protecting itself just by itself, and you're not giving them any help with chips from tight ends. You're not doing any quick man beaters to lay off of them. You're not really pounding the ball, which, if you know O-line, you know running the ball is a good way to give your O-line a break, because run blocking is a heck of a lot less energy intensive than pass blocking, and you're not giving them the breaks they need, and you're not giving the help and protection when you're calling these deep shots. And you got your quarterback sacked 6 times. 6 times. That sounds like Joe Burrow numbers, not Russell Wilson numbers. It's just not good football, and I hate to see it. And I wouldn't be surprised if Hackett gets fired before the end of the season, and I'd be happy if he did. And hey, I called the Frank Reich firing literally like 2 hours before it happened, so maybe I can get this guy fired too. I want Nathaniel Hackett fired. The Bears need to get Fields some weapons. I touched on this last week in my write-up on him and my hot takes from Week 9. Justin Fields is the future. Justin Fields is the truth. Justin Fields is the present. He is everything that Chicago could have wanted when they drafted him number 9 out of Ohio State. And at this point, they just need to give him as much help as possible. They need to draft a number 1. They need to draft a number 2. They need to draft a number 3. Well, Mooney's pretty good. But what I'm saying is they need to get him as many weapons as they can. They need to do what Philadelphia did over the past couple off seasons, how they drafted Devonta Smith and then they traded for A.J. Brown. They just need to do whatever they can to put as many weapons around Justin Fields as possible so he can go out there and win them that game. And then, finally, you knew I was going to talk about it. The game of the year in Buffalo this week. Vikings-Bills. A freaking powerhouse on powerhouse matchup. You knew it was going to be good. As soon as you heard Josh Allen was playing, you knew it was going to be a good game. You knew it was going to be competitive. You knew it was going to be 2 heavyweights throwing power blows at each other all night, and that is exactly what we got. It came out strong for the Bills. It seemed like it was all one way right off the bat. Cousins threw a couple picks. One of them was, honestly, you wonder if he thought that Bills defender was his own guy in the flat because there was just no one around him. That was just a bad one. There's no real reason you can say for it. You can watch the tape, you can watch the play again and again, but you're gonna come up blank every time because Cousins isn't a guy that throws that kind of pick. There's just no one around him. And the other one, I think, was just it was on that target where he led KJ Osborne a little too much on that crossing route, and it just went right into the lap of, I think it was number 39. I don't know the Bills roster too well, so I can't say who that was, but it was 27-10 with about 2 minutes left in the third, I believe, and then the Vikings just started turning it around. We were, kind of forced to go for it on every third, every fourth down, no matter how long it was. We were forced to go for it, and while that ended up with some misses, it also ended up with some pretty big hits. It forced us to keep our drives alive and gave us one of the greatest catches of all time. And it ended up with that sneak in the end zone where Josh Allen fumbled the snap and we got that touchdown. Eric Kendricks recovered it, I believe. It was just insane. And I'm rambling, and this is not going to be a good take because I'm just rambling about an awesome game. But, oh gosh, Patrick Peterson had 2 picks, both of them in the end zone. There's not many guys in NFL history that can give you, did we score off of that one where? Yeah, I think we scored off of that first one where he took it out of the end zone and ran it back to the 30. So that's a 21-point swing that he gave you over those 2 plays, taking away a touchdown, giving you a touchdown, and then taking away another touchdown. There's not a lot of guys in the league that can do that on 2 plays. Pappy's one of those guys. And we just you love to see it. DJ Hawkinson was huge. He had a lot of them. He had he had that OPI call in the end zone, which wasn't great, and that kind of stalled out the drive. Then he got held on the next play, and they missed it. And they missed another hold in the end zone on Justin Jefferson, but neither of them were egregious or anything. Like, you understand where they missed it. Justin Jefferson had the most dominant performance by a wide receiver I have seen in a long time. If you watch that game and you still think someone else is the best wide receiver in the league, you are wrong or in need of mental help, because god damn, Justin Jefferson just came up on every big play. Like, you needed it on 3rd and 10, on 4th and 10, on 4th and frickin' 18. You were targeting Jefferson. They knew you were targeting Jefferson. They had 2 bodies on him, and he still came down with it. Doesn't matter if it's in the hands of the DB. He came down with it. It's amazing to see one of the, probably what'll end up being one of the greatest receivers of all time. And it's even better to watch him on your team. And it's even better watching him get a win for your team. And gosh, that was just such a good game. And I need to cut this off because this is going to get long and stupid. But God, that game was good, right? Whew. But yeah, that's... Oh, a late addition that I don't have on the script, because I wrote this up before the Monday night game, but I'm going to tack this on. The Commies breaking the Eagles' win streak. No more undefeated teams in the league. The Commanders are 4-1 in the last 5 weeks, and their one loss is against the 8-1 Minnesota Vikings. That team had a rough start, and I mean rough, but they are really gelling together. That defense is just great. Like, they're a defense that can win a game by themselves. If you put their offense and that defense on a neutral field against a middle of the road team, that defense can win you a game by themselves. Like, that defensive line is just so crazy, and gosh, watching film on that D-line is just... This is... You can tell this part isn't scripted. All of this sounds like it's unscripted. I'm just rambling for half of it. But that defense is good. That's all I gotta say. That defense is great. And they're getting Chase back now, and it's gonna be awesome. And I'm gonna watch so much Washington film. And it's gonna be awesome. This is getting long, and I'm just rambling again. Just ranting, venting. I love Chase Young. Chase Young is awesome. That's all I got. Cut.